All right, at the top right, we have our Blue Protoss currently trailing 1 game in this Best of 3 series. Hailing from MVP, strong team league team.
MVP Genius.
He's so smart, he gets 2 thumbs up. Why so genius? I like that sign.
And his opponent currently leading the series on the bottom left, he is
known as
CoCa.
There they are, the red and blue things that StarCraft fans bang together.
You're gonna get flamed so much for not. We are gonna get so flamed for not knowing what those things are called.
I mean, I'm just honest with you guys. I don't know what they're called. They're called inflatable things that you bang together.
But yeah, like we were saying, you have to go mutas on this map. Well, you don't have to, but it's the most effective
It's the most
way.
common thing that Zerg players do. If you try to go roaches, they can work okay, but you can't. You just if your Pro's opponent is ready for you to do that, then he prepares properly.
At this level of play, the force fields will just kill you.
Exactly.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. Watch. I guarantee you guys, if CoCa tries to go heavy Zergling play or roaches, it's gonna happen. Although we did see in the team league recently, a player tried to go for very heavy Stargate play, and his opponent just went. I think it was Dong Regu actually versus Hero.
Yeah.
That was the game, yeah. And he made just a ton of speedlings at the end of the game. That's a different circumstance.
Different thought process. What we're thinking about right now is that the Zerg has to go mutas, and some Protoss like to go Phoenix as a response to that. In the game you're thinking of, it was the opposite way around. He knew he was going to go Phoenixes, so he went Mass Link.
I know, I was just making a bad joke. Genius again walling off with that pylon, because I just want to try to explain this. I know I kind of tried to explain it last time. You want your Zealot to be backed up against a wall between the gateway. For example, if it's the edge of the map. On Zelda Caverns, there's a really nice wall where you can do that. On a map like this, though, if you just try to put the Zealot in between the gate and that wall, there's kind of a little bit of an opening for your Zealot sneezes a little bit and the Zerglings come up. Well, you just lose.
That being said as well, more than 2 links can hit it. Sorry, more than 1 link can hit it once.
That's true as well. So that's why he's walling off with this pylon like that.
Because if you have 6 links, which a lot of Zergs do just as an offensive thing to go over and scout, if you don't place it properly, proper micro can actually get through that Zealot.
This is true.
Very weak Zerglings will get through, but they get through them nonetheless.
Now, Genius getting a sentry out right off the bat. And Hatchery going down, of course, for CoCa. He's not going for an all, and he's just doing a speedling expand. You do see Zerg sometimes all in on this map, though, because they struggle with it. A lot of practice games I've watched recently, Zerg's been doing that. I don't blame him. It's a tough map. I actually complain so much about this map. You guys probably just go, oh, it's Crossfire. Wolf's going to talk about it. I don't like it.
I like the way that the format for the map picks is done for the GSL, though. Each player gets 1 veto, and the rest are random.
They're completely random.
So you have to practice for everything.
Like, I've actually seen them do the map selections. They draw them out of a hat. It's actually random. That's how they do it. They say, okay, these maps are eliminated. They take those pieces of paper out of the hat, and they draw from a hat.
Well, some players just decide, I don't like this map. Every game I play, I'm going to veto it, so they just don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it's
which
a
is
really
a lot
good
less
format.
work when you're coming from a training perspective. You don't have to train on one of the maps. It's so much easier. Like, it doesn't seem like much because there's so many maps, but it is a big deal, and this really eliminates that kind of stuff as well.
And then in other cases where you have series like the Team League where you don't really know what you're going to be on, you have to prepare for everything, but then you have certain players that are better on certain maps, and it's just like there's all this strategy that goes into it. I love how the maps are done at the GSL.
Yep. Because we do have that Nexus going down here for Genius.
I hate tournaments that just say this round is this map, and then that's just it. That frustrates me.
You know, like the ones who start with a specific map, or the ones who just
like where you do like the first few rounds, or like every round 1 game is on Scrap Station. It's like, oh well, I guess a lot of Proasses are going to get knocked out early.
Yeah, but when you think of it that way, it comes into putting balanced maps in there.
That's true. Well, that's something that that's been changing a lot. Yeah. I like the TL Open for TL Open actually forces you to play on a certain map. At least last time I played in it or cast it, I didn't actually play in it. That's a great tournament, by the way. I recommend it. Whoa, what was that structure that just got canceled? I think it might have been.
I believe.
Maybe. We're just like talking about all these nostalgic things. We're talking about the TL Open and maps that we don't like and stuff.
Ignoring the game.
And there's a cancel. I'm like, I wish I knew what that was.
Well, 2 Spine Cores have gone down now because he's seen those units coming across. 5 Roaches in production. They've just popped out now. More Roaches now. Looks like CoCa's actually going to try and do a run by.
Counterattack. There is a Zealot to block, but these probes are going to wish they weren't transferring right now.
Yeah.
These
Whoa,
probes,
what are they doing?
I don't know. But during all this, a regular attack, not a counterattack.
Oh, he actually got his Roaches from the front behind those force fields. Nicely done there by CoCa.
He actually canceled the spines.
Oh, the Queen's stuck at the front. Nice force fields by Genius. He's actually trapped them in there. It's still a lot of units. He needs to back off with those sentries.
He's actually, instead of trying to engage with those force fields, decides to back away, saving the majority of his army. Winning that fight straightforward would have been almost impossible, and these Zerglings trying to force their way into the main. See that wall? Because Zerglings could not get through. Another type of wall, the Zerglings would have probably eventually gotten through.
Yeah. Because we do see a Forge going down now. Does not want that to happen again. Swap those cannons in the natural of 4. But of course we do have more drones and a lair coming out here for CoCa. He's actually being a little bit aggressive.
Yeah, he's getting super aggressive at this point because he saw the push coming, he made a lot of units, and he was like, maybe I made a few too many units, I might as well be aggressive. I don't want to just sit at home with my Roaches and just kind of chill out.
Yeah.
He's not feeling like a chill guy right now, he wants to get super aggressive.
Well, they're not doing anything else. You might as well put Genius on his toes. CoCa's multitasking we have seen is amazing. So it's as long as he doesn't get caught in a bad position, he should be okay.
Hallucination being researched here. That was something that got really popular for a while, then people stopped using.
They need to use it again.
They do. And he is going to, of course, use that to make Phoenixes and Scout. It's like a lot of Koreans don't use it, but a lot of foreigners do. It's my experience with hallucination research in this
Well, it just
matchup.
boils down to people haven't had enough time to actually use them effectively. Like
True.
people use, like even Infestors, they are an amazing unit. We've seen like players like Nesty in their last game. Oh, sorry, in his first game today, use them to great effect, and then some just refuse to touch it. It just takes time for people to realize the nuances of each and how they can use them. But Genie's being very, very passive right now.
Well, you say that, but he adds a few gates, and I think we're going to see the trademark. Let's see how many gates he adds here. Well, he's gone up to just 5. I thought he was going to add a few more. There's this trademark 7 gateway plus 2 timing attack. No, it's not going to be that. With Blink and 1 Observer. I'm thinking most likely he's just going to put a little bit of pressure on here as he takes another base. CoCa taking another base, meanwhile, at the gold base.
Yeah. Well, it's actually probably better off for him to defend the gold base at the moment because all his units can be in a spot to handle his natural and the hallucination coming through the main base here for CoCa now, getting a good scout of everything.
Yep, and during this, CoCa actually ran through with an Overlord and saw everything as well.
Yep.
So both of these guys knowing absolutely everything that's going on.
Mixing in more Hydras, though. This is very interesting because we saw him play very Ling and Festa heavy, and now we're seeing both these games Roach Hydra.
Well, Genius right now is getting +2 weapons. He's getting a Robo. He's getting Blink. It looks like he's just going to go with 5 gates instead of 6 or 7 and do some sort of timing attack. He hasn't prepared to take a 3rd base yet. That's why I'm thinking most likely we're just going to see him try to end the game here.
Yeah.
He's adding a ton of Stalkers. He's already got a decent amount of sentries. Most of these sentries at full energy, full health, of course, as well. And Overseer sees all of this. Actually slows down the +2. That's huge.
Yep.
Roach speed on the way. Needs to get Burrow.
Well, he's going to have that Observer with his arm.
That's true. But even so,
he will be able to come. He will be able to at least soak a lot more damage.
He's got Hydras in a good spot.
Yeah.
If he keeps the top part of this ramp, it's going to be actually somewhat difficult for Genius to break up that ramp.
Well, this is what I was saying. Like, in this position where if he rallies all his units there, he can defend both his natural and that gold. Even though Genius doesn't know about the gold yet, CoCa's in a great spot to defend them both. You don't want to be caught out of position and just go, oh, I'll have to let that go, when you don't have to. His creep spread's almost about halfway across the map, so he's going to see if any units come down on the left-hand side. And his reinforcements can even come and flank him as well.
Well, Genius has seen that at the top of that ramp there are Hydras, and there are a lot of units in general, so I think he decided that this timing attack is not what he wanted. And so he's going to make a Bay. That Scout didn't really accomplish much, but he is making a Bay right now for that Robo. He's going to start Colossus. In fact, the first Colossus has just started. Overlord drops and +1 missile attack on the way.
Something I want to
CoCa.
point out. Every time this Overlord has died, another one has been made pretty much instantly and sent in to scout again. So I really like this fact from CoCa. He's not giving up on the scouting. He's going to see everything coming at all times. He's even going to see this probe over here. He's going to assume there's going to be a 3rd going down.
Yeah, I think he may very well see that.
The probe actually got a little bit out of the way, I think. Yeah. No, he has been seen.
Well, that probe's been seen.
Yep. As you were saying, just constantly coming through. He does see that.
He wants to see if he's got any Colossi yet. How many does he have? How many Stalkers is he making? He wants to make sure he makes just the right amount of units. And there's the Spire going up, as well as a Baneling Nest. Baneling drops are actually really good on this map as well. And CoCa just doing the same thing as he did last game, basically.
And it's like we were saying before, he's knowing what's coming. He's not just going, oh, I've seen this build before. I'll defend it. And then he does something slightly different, and you're like, what did I just do?
I know, even I was looking at his build from the start and saying, well, I think I know what he's going to do. He's going to do that +2 attack, and then Genius actually adopted the Colossi into this timing attack. He's already got +3 weapons on the way, even with that slowdown from the Overseer. Is he going to stop it?
He is.
Decides to slow down the Colossus.
Nice blink to take that out, though.
Yep.
And 2 Overseers this time. Like I was saying, every time one dies, he gets another one.
Well, he's almost maxed.
Yeah.
He's got upgrades going. I like this choice. He always sees exactly how many units there are, and he's also going to be able to slow down those upgrades. Nicely done blocking that off, so when he takes his third base there, the Zerg cannot counterattack him. Making more hallucinations, continuing to scout himself, trying to see what kind of composition the Zerg's going to throw at him. He wants to see if there are Banelings or not. Unfortunately, when this Phoenix comes over here, he's not going to see any. But he's going to see that Baneling Nest, so he's going to know what's going on.
Yeah, 5 Corruptors in production as well. He's going to look very prepared to deal with any of this. The downside is, like we were talking about with Force Fields, this map is very hard to be aggressive on as Zerg with this composition. Yeah,
that's part of why you see the Baneling drops. It's part of why you see him controlling this high ground area, because then he's the boss. He doesn't have to try to fight up a ramp where the Force Fields are going to hurt him. If he tries to fight down a ramp, even with Force Fields, it's difficult, but at the top of that ramp, he's got control of the middle of the map. He's doing it. He's actually doing a style where he's avoided using mutas on this map, and I like it.
Yeah.
He's just being so aggressive and controlling the key areas rather than trying to engage in a place where it's not optimal to engage.
Oh, actually, this is not a spot to engage for Genius as he does back off. I was like, no, don't go through
see how he's controlling this map, a map that Genius should be controlling. Most Cross players do can get control. He's going to pick off an Overlord here, 2 Overlords.
None of them had units in them, which is great for CoCa.
And it looks like CoCa, if he can get down this ramp, he will have cheated Crossfire. He's going to fight all of his battles away from the middle.
No, he's actually going to go straight for the space at the top left, sending a few units up there, coming around. And there's actually some units in the middle of the map that were just lings. That's actually quite a few lings by the looks of it.
Uh-oh, the Colossi out of position here, a little too far at the front.
Getting a lot of hits in. No, they didn't shoot. I thought they were about to shoot, but whoa, losing a lot of units here for CoCa. He's just going to be stepping back. Nice force field by Genius. He really cannot be Baneling dropped right now. All his units so close together. And the downside to this is there is going to be Hydra's off creep. These Colossus are just tearing through everything. The Baneling.
Oh no, he decided to drop the Baneling.
Oh, what are the probes doing there?
I don't know.
What were the probes doing there?
I don't know. I think they were transferring. They were transferring to the third base at the worst possible time. But anyway, this is a bad time to drop Banelings. But even so, he is killing a decent amount of Genius's units as he's re-maxing.
Okay, so he lost a heap of probes right then. He's got his resources banked up quite a bit, so he is re-maxing as best he can. A lot of roaches in production. He's now fighting in the middle of the map here, trying to deal with these stalkers. But there's just too many.
The upgrades are too good for Genius. Even though CoCa's up 60 supply, he's in a rough spot. But not if he loses these Colossi.
There's just not enough roaches, though. There's so many stalkers there. We do have more units being produced here by CoCa now.
Keep in mind, though, I'm not sure if Genius just waits a second, warps in another round of units, and tries to attack. It's going to be really hard for CoCa to hold this.
Yeah, that was just really bad positioning for CoCa. Like, those Colossus couldn't be dealt with, and as he is dealing with them now. But they were just tearing through all the roaches, all of those
This is what we're talking about with Crossfire. It's very difficult for the Zerg to engage in a good spot. He is trying to use the high ground on that ramp, though. He's using it quite well.
The range on the Colossus is just too strong, though. It's tearing through everything. He's trying to get him down. Colossus do finally fall, but there's just not enough roaches.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, Genius has this strong army that's never going to die, and CoCa is trying to remake units, but they're coming out in small numbers, and he's just killing them.
Gold base there. I don't think Genius even knew that was there.
Well, he's going to kill it now.
Yeah.
Genius has +3 weapons on these Stalkers. Remember that CoCa only just now getting +2. And these roaches are going to fall very quickly. The Guardian Shield is up.
Drone's being pulled. It's going to be a last ditch here, but there's another Colossus in the back. He's going to tear through everything.
He needs to pull the Colossus back.
He's actually not focusing down the Corruptors either.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
It just doesn't matter anymore.
Well, all these drones are falling, and it looks like they tanked enough damage for CoCa to break up the ramp.
Yeah, like, we have a look at the supplies though. CoCa is still up on supply. He's got 1,500 resources. He's going to start putting a lot of blings in production. All those probes that were lost for Genius is really starting to play in now because he doesn't have the resources. He's actually going to break through all these stalkers.
Yeah, Genius having to pull back a little bit here, and they're just not ending. The units coming out for CoCa are just not ending.
No, the blink, more reinforcement wave of stalkers coming through here for Genius. CoCa's still up about 40 supply. He hasn't lost that gold base yet. He's pretty much mined it out.
I think Genius needs to realize that he doesn't need to attack that base right now. He just needs to keep killing CoCa's units.
Yeah.
He needs to fall back, he needs to attack in the right places repeatedly.
Well, he does have speedlings coming in now to tank a lot of the damage. He's trying to do the blink as best he can. The speedlings have fallen. Guardian Shield is coming in a nice timing, actually encompassing everything, but speedlings coming in from the left now. All these stalkers are really low health. Is he going to be able to blink it away? I think all of them are on cooldown. He's going to be able to chase down all these really low health stalkers.
Making those speedlings were a great choice, man. Now he's making a ton of zealots here to deal with these, but Genius,
nice force field.
He's missed his opportunity to end the game. Now he's in a really tough spot. He did transfer those probes.
It's a little bit more even than it appears because there's only 50 drones there for CoCa, and he's out of his banked resources.
This is true.
And he has that Colossus on the field.
And yeah, if that Colossus kills all of these units, things are going to get kind of messy.
There's another one in production as well, so it's not going to be as effective as he wants it to be. And he can chase down these Hydras off creep. These Hydras have been fighting off creep the entire time.
That's very true as well. The upgrade war kind of starting to go back to CoCa a little bit. He has 2-1. Genius still only having +3 weapons, so relatively even there. Or you could consider it even. Genius starting to fall behind in supply, though. He just doesn't have the production that CoCa has. And CoCa, there was a time where Genius could have just killed CoCa. He didn't control his Colossi. He had like 4 Colossi and enough Stalkers to easily kill those Corruptors. I'll talk a bit more about it later, but honestly...
He's almost mined out at his natural. That's what's really started to hurt him now.
Yeah,
he's only got that one mining base.
Whereas CoCa's got a gold base and he's got the bottom right base.
He's going to be down to that bottom right base in about 20 seconds, though, because that gold is pretty much mined out. There's only about 300 minerals per patch left, and he's coming forward with these Colossus. There's more Corruptors being made, but if Genius can focus them down appropriately, he'll be in a really good off spot. He still does have Blink on these units. He's got the Zealots mixed in. There's no Banelings just yet for CoCa, but he's starting to get further and further ahead now with his supply.
Yeah, CoCa moving forward here again. Like we were saying, no Banelings, but there's so many Zerglings here. He's going to have to use some good force fields. And there he does. Perfect force fields there. Just those two. Walling it off.
Oh, he's actually broken them there with the Colossus.
Well, if he can fight on the high ground again, he'll be okay.
Yeah.
CoCa needs to cheat Crossfire again and walk around to the other side. Trying to fight here is just not going to work, and here he goes. This is going to be what it's called, man. Cheating Crossfire is walking around here. That's what it is.
He's got a whole heap of drones in the mix there as well. I'm not sure whether that's intentional or not. There we go, for force fields going down. Why are the Colossus at the front?
I don't know, man. But the Corruptors have fallen. The Colossi, there's still one left.
He's shooting at the stuff at the bottom. He needs to pull that back. He needs to focus down the Corruptors there. Lots and lots of units going down. The Colossus has fallen, but the Blink Stalkers are still in the mix. I can't see
He's not blinking them. There he goes, blinking back now. The Roach is trying to come forward. I think CoCa may have too many units. Speedlings coming in here as well.
There we go. He's backed up to the cannon. They're out to have more. No, nothing's in production for him right now. There we go. More walked-in units coming through, but the Blink is still playing a big role. The cannon has fallen. I can't see what's under these Overlords.
I'll tell you what's on those Overlords. There's about 4 or 5 Roaches and a decent amount of Hydras as well, and these Stalkers can't hold forever.
Doing a very good job of it, though. Now taking a few hits on those Corruptors, but Genius has no money.
Yeah, this is looking like it's going to be it, man.
Yeah.
Great. Overlords dropping the creep.
Yeah, he's only that one mining base. There's nothing there to defend it either at the top left. He's bringing a whole heap of drones.
He's mana drones, man. GG. He was, you guys didn't get a shot of him. He was bringing a ton of drones just to be mana or be like, leave the game. I have all my drones with my army. Okay, guys, there are a lot of things to talk about. First of all, CoCa did a great job cheating Crossfire. He's like, I'm not going to fight where it's all weird and I can't use my units. He walked around the side several times to have the big battles.
Yep.
Yeah, he picked off a Colossus or two when he had to, or, you know, when he had the engagements were forced. Yeah, he had to fight in the middle of the map. He didn't want to.
Yeah.
And he did a great job, though, of course, going around the edge. And on top of that, Genius did not play his best. Their Colossi were always at the front. Why was that? Also,
what were the probes doing?
Okay, let me talk about the very specific situation where Genius actually should have won this game.
All right.
Even though he was down 60 supply or so, about 30 of that supply was in drones. And then there was that battle at the gold base where Genius had the top of the ramp, and CoCa was trying to fight up the ramp, and he had Colossi shooting at the units in the back. What he should have done, he had force fields at that ramp. What he should have done was pull his Colossus back and then let all the Corruptors die. The Hydras couldn't fight. They can't fight. They're behind the force fields. They can't fight. Like, why didn't he do that? Pull the Colossi back, kill the Corruptors, and then I think the game would have just ended. He would have been able to kill the units.
Well, in the first engagement, like the first real engagement up near in between the third and the natural there for Genius, he did a great split. He pulled back. He was constantly out of range of the Roaches and the Hydras, but the Colossus were always doing damage. And then all of a sudden, like 20 or 30 probes decided to go say hi to the Banelings. I don't know why that happened.
Well, he was transferring his probes to the third base. Oops.
Yeah.
Not a good time to transfer. Maybe not.
But he did clean that up very well. If he hadn't have lost all those probes right there, he would have had a fully saturated third base. He probably could have been able to defend another one if he'd gone and made that. And his income just wasn't up to par. Like, CoCa just had that bank. He instantly made everything. It was a very, very situational game. There was a lot of back and forth between them. But well done to CoCa. He does move on to the round of 8. We're going into a 5-minute break. We'll be right back.
See you guys.